Welcome, listeners, to the shadows of history, where the line between the known and the unknowable blurs into the mist of time. Today, we journey to a place where the Atlantic's furious waves crash against the rugged cliffs of the Flannan Isles, to Eilean Mor, an island shrouded in mystery and whispering tales of the unexplained. Our tale is no mere ghost story, nor a simple recount of the past. It's a chilling enigma that has puzzled scholars, historians, and the curious alike for over a century. This is the story of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor. In the winter of 1900, 3 men vanished from this remote outpost off the Scottish coast, leaving behind a scene so perplexing it has fueled countless theories, debates, and nightmares. The lighthouse, intended to be a beacon of safety, became a stage for a mystery that defies explanation. An untouched meal, a door eerily ajar, and a logbook with entries that hint at terror. These are the remnants of a story untold, of voices silenced by an unknown force. As we delve into the heart of this mystery, let us tread carefully through the veil of history, for the tales of Eilean Mor are as treacherous as the seas that surround it. What befell James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur in those fateful days? Was it the wrath of the elements, the doing of men, or something far beyond our understanding? Join me as we seek answers in the shadows of the Flannan Isles, where fear, apprehension, and ambiguity reign supreme. This is not just a journey through time, but an exploration into the depths of the human psyche and the dark corners of our world. The vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor awaits. Let the story begin. Eilean Mor, the Isle of the Big Green. In the vast, churning waters of the Atlantic, where the ocean's wrath meets the rugged embrace of the Scottish coastline, lies a cluster of islands known as the Flannan Isles. Among these, Eilean Mor stands out not just for its size, but for its aura of mystery and isolation. This rocky, wind-swept island, often shrouded in fog and whipped by fierce gales, has been the focal point of seafarers' tales and legends for centuries. It is here, on this forbidding piece of land, that our story unfolds, a tale as turbulent as the seas surrounding it. Eilean Mor, meaning the Big Green Island, is anything but welcoming. Its cliffs rise steeply from the ocean, as if to defy the elements themselves. The island's history is steeped in lore, from ancient religious hermits seeking solitude and communion with the divine, to the eerie absence of wildlife that adds to its desolate ambience. It's a place where the boundaries between the past and the present blur, where the voices of the old seem to whisper on the wind. In the late 19th century, the need for a lighthouse on Eilean Mor became evident. The waters of the Hebrides are treacherous, a graveyard of ships that had misjudged the perilous rocks hidden beneath the waves. The Flannan Isles, positioned perilously in the paths of maritime routes, were a significant hazard for the vessels braving these routes, carrying goods and passengers between the ports of Europe and America. Thus, the construction of the lighthouse was not just a matter of guiding ships safely past the dangers. It was a matter of life and death. The task was formidable. Building on Eilean Mor was a battle against the very forces of nature. Workers faced relentless winds, rains that seemed to fall horizontally, and waves that threatened to wash them away. Yet, in 1899, the lighthouse stood complete, a towering beacon of safety, its light a symbol of hope in the darkness, guiding sailors away from the clutches of the sea. That the lighthouse was more than just a structure of bricks and light. It was a boundary between the known world and the vast, uncharted waters that lay beyond. The lighthouse required keepers, men who would ensure the light never faltered. It was a lonely, demanding job, fraught with the constant howl of the wind and the relentless sea spray. Yet, James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur accepted this challenge, unaware that their names would soon be etched into the annals of the unexplained. As we delve deeper into the mystery of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor, remember, this is a place where the sea keeps its secrets, where history intertwines with the inexplicable. What happened on this isolated island, at the edge of the world, continues to haunt the imagination and stir the soul with a profound sense of unease. The story of Eilean Mor and its lighthouse is a voyage into the heart of human fear, isolation, and the eternal quest for understanding in a world that defies comprehension. The keepers of the light. In the heart of darkness, where the sea's war is the only constant, 3 men stood as the solitary guardians of the light on Eilean Mor. James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, names forever entwined with the enigmatic tale of the Flannan Isles lighthouse. Each man carried not just the weight of their duties, but also their pasts, hopes, and fears to this remote outpost at the edge of the known world. Their story is a tapestry of human endurance, mystery, and the unfathomable depths of solitude. James Ducat, the principal keeper, was the embodiment of experience and steadfastness. With a career spanning decades across Scotland's lighthouses, Ducat was well versed in the isolation and challenges posed by the life of a lighthouse keeper. His reputation was one of unwavering reliability, a beacon himself for those who worked under his guidance. Yet, even a man of Ducat's resolve could not foresee the fate that awaited at Eilean Mor, a place that would test the limits of his understanding and courage. Thomas Marshall, the second assistant keeper, brought with him a spirit of adventure and a depth of knowledge about the sea's capricious nature. His journals spoke of a man who found beauty in a tempest and solace in the rhythms of the lighthouse. Marshall's writings, which with reflections on the vastness of the ocean and the solitude of their existence, offer a glimpse into a soul captivated by the mysteries of the natural world. Yet, beneath the surface, there lurked an undercurrent of unease, a premonition of something beyond the grasp of human comprehension. Donald MacArthur, the occasional keeper, was a man of contrasts, known for his robust demeanor and a temper as unpredictable as the storms that battered their island home. MacArthur was the force of raw emotion within the walls of the lighthouse. His presence brought an intensity to the already charged atmosphere of isolation and relentless responsibility. Det MacArthur, often seen as the most rugged and earthly of the trio, harbored his own fears and doubts, shadows that followed him into the heart of Eilean Mor's solitude. Together, these three men formed a fellowship of light keepers, bound by the duty to keep the beacon alight, a symbol of safety in the perilous waters of the Hebrides. Their arrival at Eilean Mor was marked by the usual routines of maintenance and vigilance, the cyclical nature of their work offering a semblance of order in the isolation. That beneath the surface, each man wrestled with the silence and the omnipresent sense of isolation that the island imposed upon them. What led these men to Eilean Mor was more than just duty. It was a complex web of necessity, desire for solitude, and a pursuit of something that lay just beyond the horizon of their lives. In their solitude, they faced not only the physical challenges of their environment, but also the psychological trials of isolation. The lighthouse, their charge, stood as a lonely sentinel against the night. But within its walls, the boundaries of reality and the unfathomable began to blur. As we peel back the layers of their story, we must tread carefully, for the tale of Ducat, Marshall, and MacArthur is a journey into the unknown. Their disappearance is a mystery that transcends the mere absence of men. It is a riddle that probes the depths of fear, the human psyche, and the very essence of our understanding of the natural and the supernatural. The stage is set, the light burns bright against the dark, and the sea whispers secrets to those who dare to listen. Welcome to Chapter 2 of our story, where the keepers of the light walk the fine line between the seen and the unseen, the explained and the inexplicable. The final log entries. As we delve deeper into the heart of darkness that enshrouds the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor, we turn the pages of the lighthouse's logbook, a silent witness to the keeper's final days. The entries, penned by hands now lost to time, serve as a chilling prelude to mystery, their words echoing through the corridors of the unknown. This chapter peels back the veil on those last recorded thoughts, where the mundane intertwines with the inexplicable, casting shadows of dread, confusion, and a foreboding that seeps through every line. The log entries commence as expected, detailing the routine tasks and observations of sea conditions, a testament to the keeper's diligence and the disciplined rhythm of their isolated existence. However, as the days progress, a palpable shift occurs. The weather, a character as unpredictable and volatile as any other in this tale, takes center stage. Descriptions of severe storms are juxtaposed with inexplicable calm, painting a picture of a world unhinged, where nature defies logic, and the sea whispers of unrest. Thomas Marshall's entries hint at the tempest's fury, noting waves towering like mountains, their roars a constant companion to their solitude. Yet, amid these descriptions of chaos, there are moments of unnerving silence, when the storm seems to hold its breath, and time itself stands still. It's within these pauses that the keeper's notes veer into the realm of the unsettling. James Duckett's handwriting reveals a tension that grips the lighthouse, a sense of impending doom that cannot be shaken off. His words, usually measured and precise, betray a man wrestling with unease, a keeper standing vigilant not just against the elements, but against a creeping dread that defies explanation. And then, there's Donald MacArthur's contribution, a departure from the practical into the realm of the personal and the perturbed. His entries, sparse yet laden with emotion, speak of voices carried on the wind, ethereal and unbidden, a chorus of the unseen that haunts the edges of his perception. MacArthur, a man known for his strength and stoicism, hints at vulnerabilities awakened by the island's isolation and the oppressive presence of the unknown. But it is the final entries that cast the longest shadow, where the boundaries between reality and fear blur. The log speaks of a great storm, one that defies all previous experience, and outside the lighthouse, the evidence tells a different story, one of eerie calm and an untroubled sea. The keepers note an oppressive atmosphere, a heaviness that stifles the air and presses down on their very souls. Their words, once a faithful account of duties performed and weather observed, become a desperate chronicle of men facing an unseen foe, their resolve crumbling under the weight of an unfathomable force. The logbook closes with an entry that chills the blood, a final note that speaks of severe storms and unearthly prize, a testament to a terror that transcends the natural. The penmanship, erratic and rushed, conveys a sense of urgency, a last message from men standing on the brink of oblivion. As the story of the final log entries unfolds, we are left to ponder the nature of the fear that gripped the hearts of these seasoned keepers. What did they see in the maelstrom? What voices did they hear in the wind? The answers lie buried in the silent corridors of Eilean Mor's lighthouse, a beacon of mystery that continues to defy explanation. This chapter closes, leaving us adrift in a sea of questions, our imaginations haunted by the unseen and the unknown. The tale of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor marches on, into the shadows of history and the depths of the human psyche. The Last Supper. In a cold light of dawn, the relief boat approached Eilean Mor, its crew unaware that they were about to step into a mystery as deep and impenetrable as the ocean itself. The scene that awaited them at the lighthouse was one frozen in time, a moment captured in eerie stillness, as if the very air hesitated to disturb the quietude. The door to the lighthouse stood ajar, an unspoken invitation into the unknown. It was within these walls that the relief keepers found a sight that would haunt the annals of maritime lore, the Last Supper of the vanished keepers, laid out yet untouched, as if the men had risen in the middle of their meal, never to return. The table was set for three, the plates bearing the remnants of a meal abruptly abandoned. Chairs were pushed back, utensils lay spattered, a clear indication of a sudden, unexplained departure. This tableau of domestic normalcy, juxtaposed against the backdrop of the keeper's mysterious disappearance, painted a chilling picture. It was a snapshot of life, interrupted, a narrative cut short without warning or explanation. The discovery of the untouched meal served as a silent testimony to the urgency of whatever compelled the keepers to leave. It suggested a departure so sudden, so unexpected, that not even the basic instinct of hunger could anchor them to the safety of their haven. What force, what fear could drive these seasoned men to abandon their post and their sustenance with such haste? Speculation swirled like the island's ever-present mists. Some posited that a natural disaster had struck, perhaps a rogue wave, or an unexpected tempest so fierce that it necessitated an immediate evacuation. Yet, the lack of disturbance within the lighthouse itself, the calmness of the sea in the days following, contradicted this theory. Others wondered if the answer lay in the realm of the human psyche, a break in the fragile veneer of sanity that isolation and relentless routine can wear thin. Could a psychological crisis have erupted, sudden and overwhelming, driving the keepers into the night and the fury of the elements? Then there were those who looked beyond the tangible, beyond the explanations grounded in science and reason, to the supernatural. Legends of Eilean Mor spoke of spirits and entities, ancient and malevolent, bound to the land and the sea. Had the keepers encountered something otherworldly, a presence so terrifying that flight was their only recourse? As we delve into the mystery of the Last Supper, we tread on the boundary between the known and the unfathomable. The untouched meal stands as a poignant symbol of lives interrupted, of a narrative that veered into the shadows and left behind a mystery that whispers of fear, apprehension, and the unknown. What interrupted the keeper's meal remains a question that echoes through the empty rooms of the lighthouse, a riddle that the sea refuses to answer. The theories, each a thread in a complex tapestry of this tale, weave together fact, speculation, and myth. Let, as we peer into the darkness that enveloped James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, we find that the truth, like the light from the vanished keeper's beacon, flickers and fades into the vast, impenetrable night. This chapter, a contemplation of the silent witnesses and the unanswered questions they pose, leaves us on the precipice of understanding, gazing into the abyss of the unknown. The story of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor continues to unfold, each chapter drawing us deeper into its mystery, closer to the edge of reality and beyond. The search begins. On a day marked by silence and a sky heavy with unspoken omens, the relief keeper set foot on Eilean Mor, unaware that he was stepping into a mystery that would echo through time. The island greeted him not with the warm embrace of comradeship, but with a silence so profound it seemed to press against his very soul. The door to the lighthouse, unnervingly ajar, served as the first harbinger of the unsettling discovery that lay within. As the reality of the situation unfolded, the untouched meal, the abandoned posts, the absence of life where there should have been camaraderie and routine, the relief keeper's initial confusion gave way to a mounting sense of dread. The missing keepers, men he knew to be as steadfast and reliable as the lighthouse itself, had vanished into the ether, leaving behind a mystery as impenetrable as the fog that often shrouded the island. The alarm was raised, a call sent across the waves and back to the mainland, a plea for assistance in unraveling the fate of the three men. What followed was a search as thorough as it was fruitless. Men scoured the island, from its jagged cliffs to its wind-swept grasses, looking for any sign of Duckett, Marshall, and MacArthur. Boats combed the surrounding waters, ice straining against the spray and the mist, hoping against hope to find some clue to the keeper's whereabouts. Authorities were mobilized, their initial skepticism eroded by the undeniable evidence of the keeper's sudden and unexplained disappearance. The Northern Lighthouse Board, stewards of the sea's beacons, launched an official inquiry, determined to uncover the truth behind the mystery of Eilean Mor. Expert testimony was sought, theories debated, and the island itself scrutinized, all in the effort to piece together the puzzle. Yet, with each step of the investigation, the mystery only deepened. No signs of struggle were found within the lighthouse. No footprints marred the surrounding terrain, save those of the searchers themselves. The logbook entries, with their haunting final notes, offered no answers, only more questions. The seas, as if guarding their secrets, yielded no clues, and the island, silent and watchful, refused to relinquish its hold on the fate of the missing men. The initial reactions of disbelief and confusion among the authorities gave way to a creeping realization that the truth might never be known. The search efforts, extensive and exhaustive, faded into the background. A chapter closed with no conclusion. The inquiry, detailed and determined, ended not with revelation, but with the unsettling acknowledgement that some mysteries remain beyond the reach of human understanding. This chapter, a tale of search and silence, of questions unanswered and fates unknown, invites us to ponder the nature of mystery itself. The disappearance of the lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor stands as a testament to the limits of our knowledge, a reminder that, for all our efforts to illuminate the darkness, shadows persist, and some truths remain cloaked in mystery. As we leave behind the search on the windswept island of Eilean Mor, we carry with us the weight of the unknown, the sense of unease that comes from a story without an ending, a riddle without a solution. The sea whispers, the wind mourns, and the tale of the vanishing lighthouse keepers continues to haunt the boundary between the known and the unknowable, a beacon of mystery in the vast ocean of our imagination. The fury of nature. In a quest to unravel the mystery of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor, we turn our gaze towards the relentless and unforgiving force that shapes the fate of all who dare confront it: nature itself. This chapter delves into the heart of nature's tempest, exploring the theories that propose the keeper's disappearance was the result of natural causes, rogue waves, violent storms, or tragic accidents born from their duties. Each theory, while grounded in the plausible wrath of the natural world, adds layers of fear, apprehension, and ambiguity to the already enigmatic tale. Rogue waves, those towering monsters of the deep, are phenomena that strike without warning, with the power to crush ships and sweep away all in their path. The idea that such a wave could have engulfed the island, reaching even the stoutly built lighthouse, presents a chilling scenario. This theory suggests that the keepers, perhaps venturing outside in a moment of calm, were taken by surprise by a rogue wave, a wall of water so sudden and so powerful that escape was impossible. The sea, in its merciless might, could have erased all evidence of their existence in a single, devastating blow. Yet, this theory wrestles with the absence of physical evidence, the lighthouse itself standing unscathed, a silent sentinel against the claim of the sea's invasion. The wrath of storms, a more common adversary for those who dwell by the sea, offers another potential explanation. The logbook entries spoke of worsening weather conditions, a prelude to nature's fury unleashed. Could a violent storm, its winds howling like wraiths, its rain slashing like blades, have conspired to seal the keeper's fate? The thought of the men, locked in a battle against the elements, struggling to maintain the light against overwhelming odds, strikes a chord of primal fear. Yet again, the puzzle refuses to be completed, as the evidence or the stark lack thereof tells a story of calm, a narrative discordant with the tempest's rage. Finally, we consider the perils inherent to the keeper's duties. The maintenance of the lighthouse, a beacon of safety for others, was fraught with its own dangers. Slippery steps, the constant battle against corrosion and decay, the handling of volatile fuels, each pass a dance with danger. Could a tragic accident, a misstep in the dance, have led to disaster? This line of thought suggests a scenario where one keeper's fall led to a chain reaction, a disparate, ultimately futile attempt at rescue by the others. Yet, this theory too struggles under the weight of its own speculation, failing to account for the absence of all three men, leaving behind no trace, no clue to their fate. As we wade through the theories grounded in natural pauses, we find ourselves enveloped in a fog of uncertainty. Nature, in all its majesty and terror, remains a suspect in the disappearance of the lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor. Yet, the evidence, as elusive as the sea's whispers, offers no confession. The theories, like driftwood, float on the surface of understanding, never quite reaching the shore of truth. The mystery, like the ocean itself, is vast, deep, and ultimately unknowable. The fury of nature, as a potential architect of the keeper's fate, leaves us with more questions than answers, a testament to the power of the natural world and the limits of our understanding. Shadows of the mind, and whispers of discord. In a cold, echoing silence that pervades Eilean Mor, where the whispers of the vanished keepers still seem to linger, we delve into the shadowy realms of human nature and the darkness that can dwell within. This chapter turns away from the raging seas and tumultuous skies to look inward, exploring the more sinister corridors of the mystery, the possibility of foul play, the seeds of personal conflict, and the insidious effects of isolation on the human psyche. It is here, in the depths of fear, apprehension, and ambiguity, that we confront the darkest of theories regarding the fate of the three lighthouse keepers. The notion of foul play introduces a chilling dimension to the tale, suggesting that the threat did not come from the natural world, but from within the lighthouse itself, or from an outsider driven by unknown motives. The idea that one of the keepers could have turned on his comrades, driven by a deep-seated conflict, or a snap insanity, casts a sinister shadow over their disappearance. This theory probes the hidden recesses of the human mind, questioning what extremes of emotion or breaks in reason could lead to such a tragic outcome. Death, the absence of evidence, the lack of any sign of struggle or violence, leaves this theory as nebulous as the mists that enshroud the island. Equally disturbing is the possibility of an outsider's involvement. Could someone have reached the island undetected? An agent of malice intent on harm? The isolation of Eilean Mor, its remoteness, a barrier against the world, complicates this theory. The logistics of reaching the island unnoticed, carrying out such a deed, and then disappearing without a trace, seem improbable. Yet, in a tale where the impossible has become possible, the fury cannot be entirely dismissed, leaving a door ajar to darker possibilities. Beyond the specter of physical violence lies a more insidious threat: the psychological effects of isolation. The human mind is a complex tapestry, woven from threads of rational thought, emotion, and deeper, sometimes darker, undercurrents. The isolation experienced by lighthouse keepers, compounded by the relentless monotony of their duties, and the unending roar of the sea, can fray this tapestry, leading to despair, paranoia, or worse. Could the keepers have succumbed to the weight of their solitude, their minds betraying them in the most tragic of ways? This theory suggests a spiral into madness, where reality becomes indistinguishable from nightmare, and the only escape lies in actions incomprehensible to the sane mind. As we explore the shadows of human nature and the whispers of discord, we find ourselves navigating a labyrinth of fear and suspicion. The theories of foul play, personal conflict, and the psychological torment of isolation offer no easy answers, only deeper questions. They force us to confront the uncomfortable truth that the greatest mysteries often lie within ourselves, in the depths of the human soul, where light seldom reaches. The disappearance of the lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor remains shrouded in ambiguity, a tale of fear and apprehension that challenges our understanding of the natural and the human world. As we close this chapter, we are left to ponder the darkness that can dwell in the heart of man, and the shadows that move unseen across the mind. The mystery endures, a whisper on the wind, a shadow in a fog, forever echoing through the halls of the lighthouse and the annals of the unknown. Beyond the veil of reality, in the enveloping darkness that blankets Eilean Mor, where the boundaries between the past and present blur, we venture beyond the realm of the tangible, into the ether, where folklore and fact intertwine. This chapter delves into the whispers of the supernatural, exploring theories that suggest the keeper's disappearance was not merely an act of nature or man, but something that transcends the known world. Here, in the domain of ghostly apparitions, ancient curses, and paranormal activities, the story of the vanished lighthouse keepers embraces the full breadth of fear, apprehension, and ambiguity. The lore of the Flannan Isles is rich with tales of spirits and entities, echoes of a time when the veil between this world and the next was thin. Some say that Eilean Mor, despite its stark and rugged beauty, harbors a darkness, a presence that predates the lighthouse itself. There are stories of ghostly figures seen in the periphery, vanishing when approached, of voices carried on the wind, speaking words not meant for mortal ears. Could the keepers have encountered such an apparition, a spectral visitor from beyond the grave, compelling them towards a fate unseen? Then there is the matter of curses, the ancient words spoken with intent to harm, to bind one to a fate unbreakable. The island, with its long and storied history, is not without its tales of curses laid by those who walked its shores long before the lighthouse stood sentinel. Had the keepers, in their isolation, stumbled upon something ancient, something that awakened a curse from the depths of time? This theory suggests not just a disappearance, but a vanishing from this realm, spirited away by forces beyond comprehension. The possibility of paranormal activities, phenomena that defy the laws of physics and reason, opens another avenue of speculation. The lighthouse, a beacon in the darkness, may have become a magnet for such occurrences, a focal point where the energy of the island, the sea, and the sky converge. Accounts of strange lights, unexplained noises, and a feeling of being watched pervade the lore of Eilean Mor. Could the keepers have been caught in the midst of such an event, a confluence of energies that left no trace of their passing? As we explore these mysterious theories, we tread into the realm of the unknown, where science and logic falter. The supernatural explanations for the keeper's disappearance tap into our deepest fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of forces beyond our control, and the fear of what lies beyond the veil of reality. The tales of ghostly apparitions, ancient curses, and paranormal phenomena challenge our understanding of the world, inviting us to consider possibilities that defy explanation. The mystery of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor, when viewed through the lens of the supernatural, becomes a tale not just of men lost, but of humanity's eternal quest to understand the mysteries that lie beyond our reach. This chapter, a journey into the shadows, where folklore and reality merge, leaves us with more questions than answers, a reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, only pondered in the silence of the night, under the watchful gaze of the stars. As we close the pages of this chapter, the whispers of the supernatural linger, a haunting melody that echoes across Eilean Mor and into the depths of our souls, a siren song of the unknown that calls to us from the shadows, inviting us to look beyond, to wonder, and to fear. Echoes of loss and the wake of change. In the aftermath of the mystery that enveloped Eilean Mor, the ripples of the keeper's disappearance spread far beyond the rocky shores of the island, touching the hearts and lives of many. This chapter reflects on the profound impact of the loss on the families of the keepers, the lighthouse authority, and a broader community, exploring the shadows of grief, the burden of unanswered questions, and the inevitable changes that followed in the wake of the incident. The families of James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur were thrust into a nightmare of uncertainty and despair. The absence of closure, the lack of a tangible reason for the disappearance, compounded their grief, leaving them to grapple with an endless sea of what-ifs. The community around them, bound by the tight-knit fabric of maritime life, shared in this sorrow, their empathy woven from the common understanding of the sea's unpredictable nature. The loss of the keepers became a shared burden, a collective wound that struggled to heal in the absence of understanding. For the Northern Lighthouse Board, the authority responsible for the oversight of Scotland's lighthouses, the incident cast a long shadow. Questions were raised about the safety of lighthouse keepers, the procedures in place for their protection, and the adequacy of the support provided to those who man the lonely outposts. The disappearance of the keepers from Eilean Mor forced a evaluation of lighthouse operations, leading to significant changes in policy and practice. In the wake of the incident, the Lighthouse Authority implemented new safety measures and operational procedures designed to prevent a recurrence of such a tragedy. Technologies were updated, with the automation of lighthouses becoming a priority, reducing the need for keepers to risk their lives in such remote and exposed locations. Regular communications were established as a standard protocol, ensuring that lighthouse keepers were never completely cut off from the mainland, a lifeline in the vastness of their solitude. The broader community, too, felt the reverberations of the incident. The mystery of Eilean Mor became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the sea's might and the fragility of human life in the face of nature's caprice. It brought to the forefront the dangers faced by those who worked in isolation, prompting discussions on mental health, support systems, and the human cost of such essential yet perilous duties. The impact of the disappearance on the families, the Lighthouse Authority, and the community speaks to the deep connections that bind us, the collective empathy that arises in the face of loss. The changes that followed, while born from tragedy, reflect a commitment to safeguarding those who keep the lights burning, a promise to learn from the past, and to ensure that the keepers of the light are never again lost to the shadows. As this chapter closes, we are reminded of the enduring nature of grief, the quest for answers, and the capacity for change. The tale of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor is more than a mystery. It is a catalyst for reflection, a narrative that compels us to consider the depth of our connections, the resilience in the face of the unknown, and the legacy of those who have vanished, leaving behind a story that continues to resonate through the mists of time. The unending lore of the lighthouse mystery. The enigma of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor has transcended the boundaries of time, embedding itself into the fabric of popular culture and continuing to ignite the flames of fascination and speculation. This chapter explores the undying allure of the mystery, its journey through the corridors of modern investigations, its portrayal in media, and its indelible mark on popular culture, illustrating how a century-old enigma can captivate the collective imagination and endure in the hearts and minds of those who encounter it. The tale of the vanished keepers has proven irresistible to a diverse audience, from historians and paranormal enthusiasts to artists and storytellers, each drawn to the mystery's blend of natural and supernatural elements, its unanswered questions, and the human stories at its core. Modern investigations have revisited the case with fresh eyes and new technologies, employing everything from detailed archival research to sophisticated meteorological analysis in an attempt to shed light on the decades-old mystery. Yet, despite these efforts, the disappearance remains shrouded in ambiguity, a puzzle missing crucial pieces, a story without an end. In media, the story of Eilean Mor has found fertile ground, inspiring a myriad of portrayals that span genres and mediums. Documentaries have delved into the historical context and the personal stories of the keepers, seeking to humanize the mystery and explore the psychological and environmental factors that may have played a role. Fictional renditions have taken liberties with the tale, weaving narratives that intertwine fact with fiction, the natural with the supernatural, capturing the essence of the mystery while exploring the themes of isolation, fear, and the unknown. The legacy of the mystery in popular culture is a testament to its complexity and its capacity to inspire. Books, films, songs, and artworks have all drawn from the well of the Eilean Mor Enigma, each interpretation a reflection of the creator's vision and the mystery's multifaceted nature. The story has become a part of the lore of lighthouses and the sea, a haunting reminder of the power of the unknown and the allure of the unexplained. The ongoing fascination with the case speaks to a fundamental aspect of human nature, the drive to explore the unknown, to confront our fears, and to seek answers to the questions that elude us. The Vanishing Lighthouse Keepers of Eilean Mor, with its blend of historical fact, psychological drama, and elements of the paranormal, offers a canvas upon which our deepest anxieties and our enduring curiosity can play out. As we conclude this chapter, we acknowledge that the mystery of Eilean Mor is more than just a tale of vanished men. It is a mirror reflecting our collective fascination with the unknown, a story that continues to unfold in the imagination of those who hear it. The legacy of the mystery, perpetuated through modern investigations, media portrayals, and its place in popular culture, ensures that the tale of the vanished keepers will continue to intrigue, to inspire, and to haunt us, a beacon in the dark, guiding us into the depths of the human experience. the legacy of silence and stone. In the shadow of the past, where the whispers of the vanished still stir the air, Eilean Mor stands as a timeless sentinel at the edge of the world. The island, rugged and unchanged by the years, continues to hold its ground against the relentless assault of the Atlantic, a living testament to the mystery of the vanishing lighthouse keepers. This final chapter takes us to the present state of Eilean Mor and its lighthouse, exploring how the allure of the unsolved mystery continues to beckon the curious, the brave, and the scholarly, each drawn by the siren call of the unknown. The lighthouse, now a beacon automated by technology, no longer requires the constant vigil of human guardians. Yet, its walls, stoic in their solitude, seem to echo with the lives and last moments of James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur. The once bustling interior, now silent, serves as a poignant reminder of the human element missing from its halls. Despite the passage of time, the lighthouse stands not just as a navigational aid, but as a monument to mystery, an enduring symbol of the questions left unanswered. The story of the vanished keepers, like a ship caught in a perpetual storm, refuses to be stilled by the sands of time. It continues to attract visitors and researchers to Eilean Mor, each individual a wave driven by the winds of curiosity and fascination. These modern explorers traverse the same rugged landscapes, gaze upon the same churning seas, and stand within the same walls that once sheltered the keepers, searching for a connection to the past, a glimpse into the mystery that unfolded over a century ago. Researchers, armed with the dual lenses of skepticism and belief, revisit the old theories and forge new ones. Their investigations a bridge spanning the chasm between the past and present. The mystery of the keeper's disappearance acts as a beacon itself, illuminating the human desire to solve, to understand, to bring light to the darkest of mysteries. The island has become a field for academic inquiry, a case study in the psychological effects of isolation, the dynamics of group behavior in confined settings, and the resilience of humans against the elements. The lore of the mystery extends beyond the academic, capturing the imagination of those who tread the line between the natural and the supernatural. To them, Eilean Mor is a canvas upon which the broad strokes of paranormal theories are painted, a place where the veil between worlds is thin, and the whispers of the past are loudest. This fascination has woven the story of the vanishing keepers into the fabric of popular culture, inspiring books, films, and art, each iteration a tribute to the enduring enigma of Eilean Mor. The current state of the island and the lighthouse, standing resolute against time and tide, is a testament to the power of the unsolved. The story of the vanishing keepers continues to attract a constellation of visitors, pilgrims of the mysterious, seekers of the truth, each drawn to the island's shores by the need to feel, if only for a moment, the weight of the mystery that hangs over Eilean Mor. As this chapter and her journey comes to a close, we are left with the understanding that some stories, like the one that unfolded on this remote island, are destined to remain cloaked in shadow. The legacy of the vanishing keepers, etched into the stone of the lighthouse and the lore of the sea, continues to cast its light into the future, guiding those who seek to navigate the waters of the unknown. Eilean Mor stands as a beacon of mystery, its silence and stone a reminder that some tales, though silent, speak the loudest. As we conclude our journey into the depths of the vanishing lighthouse keepers of Eilean Mor, we stand on the precipice of understanding, our minds teetering on the edge of the unknown. The story, with its layers of fear, apprehension, and ambiguity, has woven itself into the fabric of our imagination, leaving an indelible mark on our consciousness. Eilean Mor, with its rugged beauty and haunting history, remains a beacon in the dark, guiding us into the depths of the human experience. The island and its lighthouse stand as silent witnesses to a mystery that defies explanation, a tale that continues to echo through the ages, a timeless reminder of the thin veil that separates the known from the unknowable. As we bid farewell to Eilean Mor and the keepers lost to the mists of time, we carry with us the weight of their story, a burden of unanswered questions, a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown. May we always be drawn to the mysteries that lie beyond the horizon, guided by the light of curiosity and the hope of understanding. And so, with one final glance at the silent shores of Eilean Mor, we bid adieu to the vanishing lighthouse keepers, their story forever etched into the annals of maritime lore. Though their fate may remain a mystery, their legacy endures, a beacon of mystery in a world hungry for answers. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of darkness. Until we meet again, may the light of curiosity guide your path, and may the mysteries of the world continue to inspire wonder and awe. Farewell.